So, hello and welcome to Bold Business Podcast Show. This is Ros Jones, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Sarah Marsh, one of the owners of All Call Group. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, lovely to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted just to ask you, well, we'll cover a few things, but one of them is tell us about All Call Group and how it came about. Over to you.
It's an interesting story. So it actually happened during COVID, which I mean, a lot of business owners struggled during this period of time, but for us, it's when we set the companies up. So I used to work for a property company as the head of marketing, and we were approached to set up a new company that would do out of hours call handling for property businesses.
Okay.
We were outsourcing this service at the time, and they were doing an okay job, but the owners of the business thought that we could do it better. So I was brought on to set up the logo, the website, the brand pack, etc. Me and my team, and then that's where PropCall came from, which is one of the specialist companies of the Allcore Group. So PropCall, as I said, it looks after out of hours. It's out of hours property management and call answering for the property sector. So it could be block management companies, residential or student lettings companies. Out of hours, what was happening is their staff were on call. So people just couldn't relax. On the weekends, they were getting calls about leaks in buildings and having to deal with it. And that's where we came in. We would answer the call, deal with the issue. We had a long list of contractors we would send out. And then on the Monday morning, the staff would come in with a full report of everything that we've done. And in an ideal world, the issue had been dealt with. So that's how PropCall set up.
Fabulous.
And that
Amazing, amazing
boomed
stuff.
over COVID because the property industry didn't stop during COVID. Everyone still needed to live somewhere. You still had the same problems. So that went really well. I was brought on, so around 2 years ago, I'd been at the company where we'd set up PropCall for around 9 years. And I felt like I'd learned everything I possibly could. And it was time for me to move on. So I said, I'm thinking about looking elsewhere. And that's when Aaron and Paul, who were the founders of PropCall, said, well, do you want to be director? Do you want to move over
Ah,
to us at PropCall? And I said, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to, because I'd seen it from I was there the first day.
yeah.
I knew all the staff, I knew all their problems, and it was the next step up for me. So I moved over, yeah, about 2 years ago, but All Call still didn't really exist because PropCall was doing so well. So about a year ago, we started discussing setting up All Call services, which is the general call answering service. So not industry specific.
Yeah.
So that's anything from outbound calls or outsourcing or just reception services,
Yeah.
anything really, just where we act as a member of staff within your team.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when people
And
are they're too busy out doing the job, they haven't got
yes,
anybody in the office.
exactly. That's where we come in.
Yeah.
If they're too busy or it actually financially doesn't make sense to hire one body, we can
Yeah.
be much cheaper than that one person.
Yeah.
And then we let the business owners make money and grow the companies. So I said, yeah, give that to me. I'll set it up. I'll run it. But at the time, we were operating from Manchester, and I had kind of moved back closer to where I'm originally from in Yorkshire. So I said, yes, I'll do it, but we have to set up the operation in Bradford. So we split the operations, and now I'm split between the two, PropCall and All Call, and that's where we're at. And things are going really well.
Yeah. Fabulous. There's a couple of things there actually.
Mhm.
In terms of phones, so
Yeah.
I don't know whether this is just me, my
Mhm.
observations, or whether it is something, but I do get the feeling that people just don't want to pick up the phone anymore. What do you think to that?
Yes.
So
Which is good for us as a company
yeah,
because that's what we're here for.
yeah,
This may sound cheesy, but we genuinely care about our clients and answering the calls friendly and in a polite manner. Because without that, we don't have a company. And yes, people are too busy to answer their calls. But if you outsource to a company like us, we can do it all for you, and you would just never miss a lead. Your
Yeah,
business can continue growing. So yeah, absolutely. But it's in our benefit, really.
absolutely. Yeah, I can absolutely see that you've got a fantastic niche there. But so
Mm.
Sarah, you did work as doing marketing for the.
Yes, I did.
Were you always driven to be an entrepreneur, or was it just something that happened to you? Or
No, no. I think my sister about 4 years ago, when I was head of marketing, she said, "Do you ever want to be director?" And I was like, absolutely no, no, no. I love being part of a team, and the idea of being in charge of a company. No, absolutely not. And then I'm one of these people that I'm just so competitive with myself. When I'd just done enough of being a head of, I was like, well, the next step is naturally director, so I'll do it. And then someone asked me a couple of years ago, would you ever want to be a business owner, be fully in charge of a business? And I said, no, absolutely not. No, the stress, the responsibility, I would never relax. And then now I'm in charge of all call, and it's fantastic. So I never, if you'd asked me 5 years ago, I would have said no, absolutely not. But I love it, and I'm really good at it, so
yeah.
it's working well.
So what is that thing then that your initial reaction is always to say no, and then
Yes,
you come around to the idea? Is it just because the idea of sudden change does something you're one of these people who has to mull over for a while?
yes. I think my husband would tell me I'm not the best with change.
Yeah,
So if someone, yeah, threw an idea at me, I would have to really think about it myself.
yeah,
But I think through being a director, I mean, in order to be a good director or business leader, you have to be open to change and
yeah,
reacting like this, because it's not just everything doesn't go well. It's problems daily.
yeah,
So it's really taught me how to manage change much better.
yeah, and make decisions quickly. If you don't mind me asking, what's been the biggest challenge for you in your role as a business owner now, Sarah?
We are open every second of the day, every day of the year. So there is not a moment that we don't have a staff member sat in our office. So they don't work remotely either. So the staffing of the business is hard. You can't have the same people doing 24 hours a day. And people make mistakes, people can be unreliable. So it's been a hard task getting the right people in who you can trust to run this business, because I can't work every
Yeah,
second of the day either. So it's taken some time to build that team. But then yeah, on the flip side, they're also the best thing about the business.
yeah. What's your number one tip for recruiting the right people?
I mean, a lot of people don't have the time for this, but for me, I always like to get as involved as possible. I think it's important, especially with smaller businesses, which All Call is. You don't want to outsource to someone. You want to really get a feel for the people,
Yeah,
and you can teach things like answering the phone and going through processes, but you can't teach being a kind, friendly, personable person.
yeah,
So yeah, I try and be as hands-on with the recruitment as
yeah,
possible. It's a
yeah,
bit harder with PropCore because we've got 55 to 60 staff, so it's a much larger operation. But we've got things in place to kind of prevent anyone kind of being biased towards who they employ.
yeah,
So we before interviewing, we have personal and professional characteristics which we've kind of scored against the job role.
yeah,
So, and we'll ask questions based on that. So that kind of makes the person move down the right kind of path to find the perfect person.
yeah. Fabulous. I always think that you should basically hire slow, fire fast. Take your real
Mm,
time to find that right
I
person.
agree with that. Yeah, never
Um,
rush. When we've rushed, it's gone wrong.
yeah, yeah. And with my clients, whenever they've been desperate for somebody, they have attracted
Mm,
desperate people, and they know
yes,
now the best thing for a business that's growing is to always be recruiting because it can take so long to find the right person.
I agree.
Also, one of the best tips that I learned is really to get the right. I absolutely agree about the thing about values and attitude
Mm.
that you need. One of the best tips is actually to take that person out for dinner and see how they treat the waiter. That is a really good,
That's such a good idea.
yeah,
That's fantastic.
because you can pretend in one scenario,
Mm.
but actually your true character often comes out in another. So that's my little tip for you.
I know, I like that. I have done some in cafes.
Yeah.
I think it's good to to get them out of the office environment and just see how they interact with other people. But I think
Yeah.
taking them out for dinner is a fantastic
Yeah.
idea. I'll pinch that. Thank you.
The other thing there that I noticed is
Mm.
because prop call is a bigger business, so there is always a danger, isn't it, as you grow, that
Mm.
you get taken away. You have to delegate more and more, and there is this thing about making sure that the sort of values of the business aren't diluted as you grow and bring in potentially the wrong people. And how do you
Yeah,
how do you manage that, or how do others manage it?
it's hard, but it's something that you have to concentrate on.
Yeah,
If you want your business to be successful, it's the people below you doing the job.
yeah.
So if they're not happy, if they leave, it just causes problems. So embedding people with your values from the start is really important, but it is hard. So we've got a people team. We name it people rather than HR because they
I like
focus
that.
on the people.
Yeah.
And they're responsible for making sure we first of all hire the right people. So it's kind of start to finish. It's a cycle really, bringing them in, training them, embedding them with our values, giving feedback, doing surveys, putting on social events. And then when they decide to leave, getting feedback and feeding that back to myself and Aaron, who's the other chap in charge. So
Yeah.
we can make changes as well because we're not always perfect. There may be things that we could have done differently. So it's a big focus for us. Yeah.
And what do you think is the key to retaining your best talent?
They have support, they make friends, they feel empowered. That's a big one.
Yeah.
So when we do biannual surveys and we ask people to, tell us, do you feel empowered? Do you have the right support? And that's a big one. You don't want to come into work and feel like someone's breathing down your neck, and if you make a mistake, you're gonna get told off. It's about you treat them like grown-ups really. So and I think that helps. We do have especially for the industry we're in, we've got a really high staff retention rate, which is one of our main business objectives. That's how important it is for us.
So you're UK wide, aren't you, at the moment?
Yes, UK wide, anywhere from I think Aberdeen down to maybe Bournemouth, so
Oh
we kind of
wow.
span quite far.
And so what's your plans for the business? Is it like world domination? What's your thinking?
I mean, ideally, yes, it'd be fantastic. I would say just to continue growing both businesses, continue helping more people. It's such a satisfying business to be in when you're problem solving and helping people on a daily basis. So just to continue doing what we're doing now and for the future really, and keep on employing people and helping people who we employ as well with careers. So
I think it's amazing. It's an amazing business model that you have. I think because you're providing local employment. People have to work in the office, so it's local employment that
yes,
you're helping the local
definitely.
economy, plus economies all over the country, and helping people live in more comfortable homes too. So it's a massive win-win-win all around, I guess. There's been a bit of debate recently about
Mm,
this thing about remote working, because presumably your people could actually work from home because you could have telephone equipment at home. So,
yes, yeah.
why do you think it's so important that people should be in the office?
It kind of goes back to the question you just asked about keeping staff. Staff are happier when they're surrounded by people, when they make friends, when they have that support. And we strongly believe that if you're sat in a room by yourself, you can't be supported as well by your managers. You can't just take a call, a difficult customer, for example, and turn around and ask someone behind you, "Oh, what would you do in this situation?" It's not like that when you're working from home. Whereas when you're in the office, you've got everyone around you, you've got the on-shift manager who's just there to help and support you. And you don't have that community as well.
Yeah.
So we feel really strongly about making sure people come into the office, but it's to help them.
Yeah, no, I love that, and I can absolutely see that. You learn from other people, don't you? And you get
Absolutely.
support, and also there is that camaraderie, as you say. People build friendships at work, so
Yeah, definitely.
it's a growing, successful business. We all have our ups and downs, obviously, but it's a growing business, wonderful direction. People
Mm.
will continue to need you. What do you think is the one quality about yourself that's helped you keep going through the ups and downs?
It's been probably stubborn.
Stubborn.
Stubborn, yeah. I don't give up, and that's there's just there's always something that there's always a problem, but I'm stubborn. I'm never going to give up, and that's why I think prop call and all call are continuing to grow because you do get problems, but I'm always like, nope, no, we'll deal with this one, move on to the next, and just continuing to grow.
I'd like to maybe add to that because I know you
Mm.
said stubbornness, but it is determination, isn't it? But also
Yes, yeah.
remember, it's obviously through every mistake we learn, don't we, from what happens. So it's that
Mm.
determination to learn and grow. And I love that. I don't know if you've read Chet Holmes' The Ultimate Sales Machine, but he talks about pig-headed discipline and determination. And maybe that's another way of saying stubborn, but is that resilience, isn't it? I think
It
determination to
is.
grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You've got to, yeah, be very resilient in when you've got your own business and you're wanting to grow. Absolutely.
We talked offline about comfort zones, and you said that you like to increase, you like to grow your comfort zone. What's the fuel there that fires you on that makes you want to keep going like that?
I'm always hungry to know more. And if you get too comfortable, you're not going to learn more. So I'm purposely every year I set myself certain tasks to get myself out of my comfort zone so I can better myself. I can better the businesses that I'm working for and just progress professionally. Because I think some people can just get quite complacent when they're at the top of a business and just expect everyone else to do the learning and the development. But no, I would A, get bored because I've got a brain to use, and B, yeah, it wouldn't be good for the businesses either.
Fabulous. I love your the whole attitude and your ethos. So it's just great.
Mm,
So I wish you all the best for
thank
continued
you.
growth and success, and hopefully being on this podcast has helped you too.
No, definitely. I thank you. And you've, yeah, pushed me out of my comfort zone. So it's good
Fantastic.
for me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.